can poison the brain, and that is negative thoughts. We have no say over what people say to us, but we have total say over what we do with what they say to us. You see, a negative thought may come into our mind, and AA say this, I think it's well said. We have no say over the first thought, but we have total say over every thought after that. You see, a thought is like a breeze. Notice that this nerve cell is like a tree, and here are all the little branches. A breeze comes in and it wafts through the dendrites, the branches of the tree. And it is our choice whether we keep that thought or we let it keep going.
Most people think they'll notice right away if their memory starts slipping or if their brain slows down. But in reality, changes in brain speed and recall often happen quietly, long before obvious symptoms appear. And by the time you realize something's off, your focus, reaction time, and even daily confidence may already be affected. The good news is there are simple ways to check your brain's performance at home without expensive tests or doctor's visits. Neuroscience research shows that certain quick challenges can reveal how well your memory, attention, and reaction speed are working right now. Even more importantly, they can alert you to small changes before they turn into bigger problems. But here's where many people miss out. They either don't test themselves at all, or they rely only on brain games and puzzles that don't always measure the skills that matter most in everyday life. A recent review found that older adults who ignored basic at-home brain checks were more likely to miss early warning signs of memory decline. That delay can make it harder to protect brain health later on. On top of testing, what you eat plays a huge role in how well your brain performs. Some foods supply the exact nutrients that help neurons fire faster and keep memory sharp, while others slowly wear down brain health with inflammation and poor circulation. Many people who think they're eating healthy still miss out on key foods that directly improve brain speed. You won't often hear this kind of advice in quick health articles or TV news clips. But the truth is, a few small changes in testing and food choices can add up to noticeable improvements in focus, reaction time, and memory, especially as you get older. And when it comes to protecting your brain, waiting until problems are obvious is the biggest mistake you can make. So in this guide, we're going to walk through 3 simple at-home tests you can try today to see how fast and sharp your brain is. Then we'll cover the 5 best foods to support memory and speed, backed by science. These are practical steps you can start right away without confusing rules or expensive supplements. Before we dive in, think about this. How often do you test your brain performance the way you test your vision or blood pressure? And how often do you plan meals with your memory and focus in mind? If your answer is rarely or never, this might be the most useful information you read this year. Let's start with the first brain speed test you can do at home and what it really reveals about how your mind is working. Number 1, reaction time, ruler drop or app. When it comes to understanding how well your brain is working, one of the easiest places to start is by measuring reaction time. Reaction time is basically the gap between when something happens and when you respond to it. For example, imagine someone drops a ball and you reach out to catch it. The time it takes for your eyes to notice the ball, for your brain to process what's happening, and for your hand to move into position is your reaction time. It may only be a fraction of a second, but that small measurement can tell a lot about your brain's speed. You don't need expensive equipment to test this. A simple ruler and a friend are enough. The ruler drop test is one of the most common at-home ways to check reaction time. Here's how it works. One person holds a ruler vertically with the 0 end at the bottom. The other person positions their hand right above the 0 mark, ready to pinch the ruler as soon as it drops. Without warning, the person holding the ruler lets it go, and the other person tries to catch it as quickly as possible. The point on the ruler where it is caught shows how far it fell before being stopped. The shorter the distance, the quicker the reaction time. For example, if you catch the ruler at the 10 centimetre mark, your reaction time is faster than if you catch it at the 25 centimetre mark. There are even online charts that translate the distance into milliseconds of reaction time. This makes it easy to compare your result to average scores and track changes over time. Why does this matter? Reaction time is closely connected to brain health. A sharp brain processes signals quickly and sends instructions to your muscles almost instantly. If your reaction time starts to slow down noticeably, it can sometimes be an early indicator of age-related decline, attention problems, or even neurological issues. Of course, one slow test doesn't mean something is wrong, but tracking your performance over weeks or months can show patterns worth paying attention to. If you don't have a partner or ruler handy, there are many apps and online tools that can measure reaction time. These usually involve tapping the screen as soon as a shape changes color or clicking when an image appears. The principle is the same. Your brain sees something, processes it, and signals your body to respond. The faster you react, the better your brain speed is functioning. Now, reaction time is influenced by many factors. Age naturally slows reaction time. Young adults in their 20s tend to have the fastest responses, while older adults often see gradual changes. Fatigue, stress, alcohol, or even dehydration can also affect how quickly you respond. On the other hand, practice, sleep, and good nutrition can all improve reaction speed. Studies have shown that people who play fast-paced video games often have quicker reaction times, not just on screen, but in real-world tasks as well. This is because the constant practice of noticing changes and responding rapidly trains the brain's processing system. Similarly, athletes often train with reaction drills because faster responses can make a big difference in performance. If you try the ruler drop test several times, you may notice that your results vary. That's normal. Nobody reacts at exactly the same speed every time. The brain has small fluctuations depending on focus and readiness. The key is to look for your general average rather than one single result. A good way to test yourself is to repeat the drop at least 5 times and take the average of your scores. Reaction time is not just about speed. It also connects to attention and focus. If your mind is wandering or you're distracted, your reaction will slow down. This is why reaction time tests are sometimes used in studies on attention deficit disorders, fatigue, or even the effects of certain medications. Number 2, short-term memory recall, word list. Short-term memory is the mental notepad your brain uses to hold on to information for a short period. It allows you to remember a phone number just long enough to dial it or recall a grocery list while walking through the store. Testing short-term memory at home can give you insights into how well your brain is holding and processing information in the moment. One of the simplest ways to test short-term memory is with a word list recall exercise. You don't need any equipment, just a list of words and a timer. Here's how it works. Write down 10 to 15 common words on a piece of paper. For example, apple, chair, river, car, house, pencil, tree, dog, book, clock, shoe, phone, bread, candle, and glass. Read the list out loud slowly, once. Then set it aside and wait about 30 seconds to a minute. After the time is up, try to write down as many words as you can remember. The number of words you recall gives a rough measure of your short-term memory capacity. Most adults can hold between 5 and 9 items in short-term memory at one time. This is known as Miller's Law, based on research from the 1950s. If you can recall 7 words out of the 15, your memory is right in the average range. If you remember more, it suggests your working memory is especially sharp. If you consistently recall fewer, it may mean your short-term memory needs some practice. This type of memory test is valuable because short-term memory plays a key role in everyday life. Every time you have a conversation, follow directions, or multitask, your brain relies on this system. Weak short-term memory can make it harder to keep track of tasks, names, or even where you placed your keys. By practicing recall with word lists, you're not just testing memory, but also exercising it. There are variations to make the test more challenging. You can increase the number of words, use less familiar terms, or add distractions during the waiting period. For example, try counting backwards from 100 by threes while waiting to recall the list. This forces your brain to manage two tasks at once, giving a stronger measure of working memory. What makes this test useful at home is that it can easily be repeated. If you try it once a week using different word lists, you can see patterns over time. Some days you might recall almost all the words, while other days you remember fewer. This fluctuation is normal, as memory can be influenced by sleep, mood, stress, or even diet. Tracking your performance over months can highlight whether your memory is staying steady, improving, or gradually declining. Short-term memory is sensitive to many lifestyle factors. Lack of sleep is one of the biggest disruptors. When you're tired, your brain struggles to encode and store information properly, making recall harder. Stress also plays a major role, as high levels of stress hormones interfere with the brain's ability to focus and retain details. On the other hand, regular physical exercise, a balanced diet, and mental activities like puzzles or reading can strengthen memory. Research has shown that repeating information, a process called rehearsal, helps transfer short-term memory into long-term memory. For example, if you repeat a phone number several times, you're more likely to remember it later. Doing the word list test regularly can train this rehearsal system and improve your overall recall skills. Number 2, Stroop test, color word challenge. The Stroop test is one of the most fascinating at-home exercises to check brain speed and flexibility. It looks simple on the surface, but actually challenges one of the most complex processes in your brain, the ability to handle conflicting information. At its core, the Stroop test asks you to name the color of a word rather than read the word itself. For example, the word blue might be printed in red ink. The task is to say red because of the ink color, even though your brain wants to read the word blue. This creates a conflict between automatic reading and conscious attention. Reading words is something most adults do automatically. You don't even think about it. But when the task asks you to ignore what the word says and instead focus on the ink color, your brain has to work harder to override that automatic response. The time it takes you to do this and the mistakes you make reflect your brain's processing speed and ability to control attention. To try this at home, you can make a simple Stroop test sheet. Write down color words like red, green, blue, yellow, black, and orange. Print them in different ink colors that don't match the word. For instance, write green in blue ink or yellow in black ink. Then read through the list while timing yourself, but instead of reading the words, say the color of the ink. You can also find online Stroop test tools that generate random lists and record your reaction times. When you first try it, you'll likely notice how surprisingly difficult it is. Your brain wants to read the word, but the task requires you to pay attention to the color instead. This conflict slows your response and creates mistakes. The more you practice, the better you get, but the challenge never fully goes away because of how strongly wired reading is in the brain. The Stroop test is valuable because it tests several brain functions at once. It measures processing speed, attention control, and the ability to suppress automatic responses. These are all key skills in everyday life. For example, when you're driving and suddenly hear a siren, your brain needs to suppress distractions and focus on the road. Or when you're working on a task but tempted to check your phone, the same type of control is required. The Stroop test is like a workout for this mental skill. Scientists have used the Stroop test for decades in psychological studies, and it's often used in clinical settings to measure cognitive flexibility. It's even used to detect early signs of brain-related conditions. At home, though, it's simply a powerful way to understand how your brain handles interference. Your performance on the Stroop test can be influenced by many factors. Fatigue, stress, or distractions make the task harder and slower. On the other hand, good focus, rest, and practice improve your results. By repeating the test weekly, you can track whether your processing speed and attention are staying sharp or showing changes. There are many ways to make the challenge harder once you get used to it. You can increase the number of words, reduce the font size, or set stricter time limits. You can also reverse the test by asking someone to read the word itself instead of the color, which forces your brain to switch modes quickly. These variations train mental flexibility and make the exercise more engaging. Interestingly, children often perform differently on the Stroop test than adults. Because their reading skills are less automatic, they sometimes find it easier to name the ink color without being tricked by the word. This shows how much the test relies on the automatic nature of reading. For adults, the stronger the reading habit, the more challenging the test becomes. Doing the Stroop test regularly not only measures brain speed, but can also improve it. Training your brain to resist automatic impulses strengthens cognitive control. This has practical benefits in daily life, from managing distractions at work to staying calm under pressure. If you prefer digital tools, many apps and websites offer Stroop-style games. These versions often use colors, shapes, or symbols to create interference, keeping the brain challenged in new ways. Some even provide scores and progress tracking, which can be motivating over time. The Stroop test may look like a simple color word puzzle, but it pushes your brain into high gear. It makes you slow down automatic processes, pay closer attention, and respond more carefully. Over time, this type of practice can sharpen mental speed and help maintain cognitive flexibility. Now let's discuss top 5 foods to boost your brain speed and memory. Number 1, blueberries. Blueberries are often called brain food, and there is a good reason for that. They are packed with natural plant compounds called flavonoids, particularly anthocyanins, which give them their deep blue color. These compounds act as antioxidants and anti-inflammatory agents, which means they protect the brain from stress and damage caused by free radicals. Free radicals are unstable molecules that can harm brain cells over time and speed up aging. By fighting against this process, blueberries help keep the brain sharp and healthy. Research shows that eating blueberries regularly can improve both memory and overall cognitive function. In some studies, older adults who consumed blueberry juice or blueberry supplements for several weeks showed measurable improvements in short-term memory and learning ability. This suggests that the compounds in blueberries may help enhance communication between brain cells, allowing information to flow more smoothly. Another reason blueberries are so helpful for the brain is their effect on blood flow. Healthy blood circulation is crucial because the brain depends on oxygen and nutrients carried through the blood. The compounds in blueberries improve the flexibility of blood vessels and help reduce plaque buildup, which makes it easier for blood to reach different areas of the brain. This better circulation supports quicker thinking and sharper focus. The impact of blueberries on mood is also worth noting. Studies suggest that the antioxidants in blueberries can reduce symptoms of stress and depression by protecting certain brain regions that control emotions. A calmer brain is often a sharper brain because stress tends to block memory formation and slow down thinking speed. The best part is that blueberries are easy to add to your diet. They can be eaten fresh, frozen, or even dried without losing much of their nutritional power. A small handful each day is enough to start making a difference. Mixing them into oatmeal, yogurt, smoothies, or simply eating them as a snack is a simple way to boost brain health. Number 2, fatty fish. Fatty fish such as salmon, mackerel, trout, and sardines are some of the best foods for brain memory and speed. The main reason is that they are loaded with omega-3 fatty acids, especially DHA and EPA. These fats are essential for brain health because they make up a large part of the brain structure, particularly in the cell membranes of neurons. when neurons are surrounded by enough omega-3 fats. They can communicate faster and more efficiently, which directly improves memory and thinking speed. DHA in particular is critical for maintaining the health of the hippocampus, the part of the brain most responsible for learning and memory. People with low levels of DHA are more likely to experience memory problems and cognitive decline as they age. On the other hand, those who regularly eat fatty fish tend to have sharper memory, better attention, and stronger problem-solving skills. Omega-3s also reduce inflammation in the brain, which is an important factor in protecting against diseases like Alzheimer's. Chronic inflammation can damage neurons over time, but omega-3s keep the brain environment healthier, allowing cells to thrive. In addition, these fats help produce important brain chemicals like serotonin and dopamine, which regulate mood, focus, and motivation. Number 3, walnuts. Walnuts are one of the best plant-based foods for brain health. They are rich in alpha-linolenic acid, a type of omega-3 fatty acid that the body can partly convert into DHA and EPA, the same fats found in fish. While walnuts may not provide as much omega-3 as fish, they are still a great source, especially for people who prefer plant-based diets. These fats help keep the membranes of brain cells flexible and strong, which improves how quickly information passes between neurons. But walnuts go beyond healthy fats. They also contain antioxidants, vitamin E, and polyphenols that reduce oxidative stress in the brain. Oxidative stress happens when free radicals damage brain cells, making them slower and less efficient. By protecting against this, walnuts keep memory sharp and thinking clear. Vitamin E is especially helpful for older adults, as it may lower the risk of age-related memory loss. Research supports the brain benefits of walnuts. In long-term studies, people who ate a handful of walnuts daily showed better memory, faster processing speed, and higher concentration compared to those who did not. Animal studies also suggest that diets rich in walnuts may improve learning ability and motor coordination, which shows how powerful their nutrients are. Number 4, dark chocolate. Dark chocolate, when eaten in moderation, can be a great food for improving memory and brain speed. The key lies in compounds called flavonoids, which are powerful antioxidants found in cocoa. These flavonoids collect in areas of the brain involved in learning and memory, such as the hippocampus. By protecting brain cells from damage and supporting the growth of new connections, they help keep memory sharp and thinking quick. One of the most important effects of dark chocolate is improved blood flow to the brain. Flavonoids relax blood vessels and increase circulation, which delivers more oxygen and nutrients to brain cells. This improved blood flow has been shown to enhance memory, reaction time, and problem-solving ability. In fact, some studies found that people performed better on cognitive tests just a few hours after eating dark chocolate, suggesting that its effects can be felt almost immediately. Dark chocolate also contains natural stimulants like caffeine and theobromine. These compounds provide a gentle boost in alertness and concentration without the intensity of coffee. This makes dark chocolate especially useful for situations that require focus, like studying or working on complex tasks. Another benefit is its impact on mood. Eating dark chocolate stimulates the release of endorphins and serotonin, which create feelings of happiness and reduce stress. Since stress is one of the biggest obstacles to memory and quick thinking, this calming effect indirectly improves brain performance. The key to getting these benefits is choosing dark chocolate with a high cocoa content, ideally 70% or higher. The higher the cocoa percentage, the more flavonoids it contains. Milk chocolate does not have the same benefits because it is often diluted with sugar and fat, reducing the concentration of brain-boosting compounds. Number 5, broccoli. Broccoli may not seem as exciting as blueberries or chocolate, but it is one of the best vegetables for brain memory and speed. It is packed with antioxidants, fibre, and a wide range of vitamins and minerals that all support brain health. One of its most important nutrients is vitamin K, which plays a major role in forming sphingolipids, a type of fat found in brain cell membranes. Having enough vitamin K helps keep brain cells strong and supports better communication between them. Broccoli is also rich in compounds called glucosinolates, which the body breaks down into isothiocyanates. These chemicals help reduce oxidative stress and inflammation in the brain. By lowering these harmful processes, broccoli protects neurons from damage that can lead to memory decline and slower thinking. Another powerful compound in broccoli is sulforaphane. Research shows that sulforaphane supports the growth of new brain cells and helps repair damage caused by injury or aging. This makes broccoli especially useful for long-term brain health and preventing decline. Broccoli also provides vitamin C, which supports the immune system and protects the brain from stress. Along with fibre, it helps regulate blood sugar, preventing spikes and crashes that can affect focus and memory. Stable blood sugar levels are essential for keeping the brain energized throughout the day. Studies suggest that people who eat cruciferous vegetables like broccoli regularly perform better on memory and verbal tests. These vegetables also appear to slow cognitive decline as people age, showing their protective power. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more health tips. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Take care and see you in the next one.